Hey, what's up guys? Today I'm doing a review on the Barric Boxing Vintage Gold Boxing Gloves. So check it out. Hey guys, Carlo here. Today I'm doing a review on the Barric Boxing American Made Vintage Gold Boxing Gloves. Comes in this beautiful black and gold trim colorway. I got mine in 16-ounce lace-up. You can also get this in Velcro hook and loop, anywhere between 12 and 16 ounces. It's made of full genuine leather throughout the entire glove, reinforced with welted seams. It also has a really nice, thick, smooth polyester satin liner that's water resistant on the inside in that maroon colorway. 3 layers of foam padding, including curled horsehair over the knuckles. That gives it that old school feel. That's the feel that I really like. You know, if you guys have watched any of my videos, you guys know I'm a big fan of puncher style glove with that softer padding. You get more feedback and pop out of your glove. And this definitely is in that category. You can see it really conforms to whatever the surface that is hitting. Because of that horsehair, you get a nice flat punch surface and that really nice connected feel, but it also utilizes that NASA foam that he used in gloves that he's made before that gives you a level of shock absorption and protection as well. We'll discuss that here in a little bit more detail here in a second. And lastly, the gloves are handmade here in the United States in Texas by Richard Barton himself. Now, Barric is a company that's been around for a few years now, and a matter of fact, I actually did a collaboration glove with them a couple of years ago, or should I say with him a couple of years ago, a C-skirt boxing Barric glove. And they were basically a metallic gold and maroon glove, and they sold out right away. I did a quick run with those. And essentially when I found out about Barric was a couple of years ago. I was browsing through eBay, and Richard was actually kind of starting off his company and building these gloves from his travels overseas, where he learned the trade of glove making. And I really wanted to support an American company, American made in USA, and Richard is a veteran like myself. So that was what really put the cherry on top. So not only am I supporting an American business, but I'm also supporting a fellow veteran like myself, and that's really what I wanted to do. And just as of lately, I think in the last year, that's when Richard finally decided to go full scale with his boxing gloves and his boxing equipment. So now he has a website. Of course, I'll put the link in the description box where he has these gloves for sale. This is going to be their vintage gold, which is his highest glove that he offers, the most premium level, and it definitely does not disappoint. So looking at this from a design standpoint, you can see it does have an old school vintage feel to it. It reminds me of the old Ray Flores gloves. You know, Richard is similar to the other glove manufacturers out there, like John Gollum, DiNardo, 1v1, glove makers that are just one person. It's not this big operation where you have a factory and you have 50 people working in there with sewing machines and they're putting the gloves together. It's one person that makes these gloves. So there's a different level of detail and care that goes into these gloves, and I really see that when I pick these gloves up and you kind of look around the glove and you're looking at the stitching and the leather. You can feel the love and care that they put into the gloves, because it takes time to put this together, especially if you're doing it as one person. You don't have like an assembly line of people that you can go to the next step and hand the gloves off to do the next step in glove making. You have one person from start to finish that's oversees the glove, and you definitely see it with that, with this glove. So definitely love that custom feel. You're getting a glove that's like a timepiece essentially. You're getting something that's just not mass produced and just pushed out there on the shelf. This is the type of glove that you're going to use for years. It's going to grow its own patina to the leather. It's going to have its own character to it. You know, these are the type of gloves that you can essentially hand down to the next generation. So that's what I really love about that. And you can tell that's kind of the look it goes with this glove. You do have the Barric that's written in gold. It kind of has like a foil metallic look to the Barric right there. You also have a flat wrist support on the back of the glove that also has the Barric logo. It's kind of ingrained, almost looks kind of like an American flag. You do have about an inch of medium density foam over the back of the wrist. One thing to note is that the foam padding that's utilized in the hand compartment actually extends down all the way into the wrist area, so you don't have a weak point right here on the hinge point of the glove. So structurally, this is all one piece and it's stitched in right here. So you do have that good balance when you hold the glove up like that, because of the way that Rich decided to go all the way down with the foam padding. So something worth noting. The inside of the wrist you have, I'd say about an inch and a half of medium density foam. You can see it comes up right here, as well as on this thumb side. You do have long cotton laces, it feels like, with cut tips at the end. There's no plastic tips, so it kind of reminds me of Winning, where they don't have any plastic tips. And oftentimes I feel they do that because if you were to use these gloves for sparring, you don't want any type of sharp edges or anything that can possibly cut or scuff your sparring partner. So you do have the cut tips in the end. It does say Texas made right here with the Texas state printed down here in gold. You also notice that you have a double stitching in gold throughout the entire glove and a lot of reinforcement points on the stitching. So you typically would see double stitching, but he also adds stitching in other areas where he feels that would be kind of a weak point later down the road when the glove starts to get a lot more wear and tear in use. You do have this welted seam in black. Really nice, large, thick grip bar that's nice and dense. It does say 16 ounces. Ventilated holes above and below the grip bar, as well as on the inside of the thumb, and a full leather attached thumb on the inside. Again, more of that gold stitching. So you can see just a beautiful looking glove from a design standpoint. Not overly flashy, just gives you what you need, and that's it. The leather on here has a very thick grain and texture to it. Has kind of a, I guess you can say, a satin to matte finish, but it has a nice strong leather smell to it. It's very thick and very high quality. I mean, this leather on here should last a very, very long time. I mean, this, I'm not too sure how thick this is. Hopefully Richard can maybe chime in, but the leather thickness on the hair is awesome. I mean, it does not feel cheap at all. This feels like a very high-end top grain leather when it comes to this glove. And you can see, again, just the quality here is amazing. I mean, throughout the entire glove, the stitching, the leather, you can see that outside edge, how it's all straight and symmetrical. Even down here where the piping is at on the back of the cuff. Hopefully the video can pick it up too. You can just see how sharp that is. And right here, on the inside where the padding is and where it meets the thumb, very clean. Palm side, again, areas where you typically would see other manufacturers get a little messy or kind of rush through. I mean, look at that. Everything is super clean. Palm side, everything looks great. All the holes are punched out. You can see he reinforces in double backs on certain areas right here with the stitching right around the grip bar. On that outside edge, on our inner part of the thumb, also again, more reinforcement on the stitching where it V's off. That looks amazing as well. Everything looks fantastic with this glove. Inner liner looks great as well, no exposed foam. Has that maroon look. You also have tags on the inside that says Made in USA, and your standard, just kind of your warning label in white right there. So overall, just a beautiful looking glove. When I put the gloves on the scale, they were a little underweight, so that's something that he definitely should work on and get this exactly on point with weight. That's one critique I would say, is that the left glove, I believe, was at 15.6 and the right glove was at 15.8. So not exactly on point at 16 ounces, which I completely expect with the glove at this price point. And the reason I say that is there's gloves out there, other manufacturers like Winning, where I don't think I've ever seen a pair of Winnings when I put them on the scale that they were off. And if they were off by like 0.01. So it would be like 15.9 ounces, but for the most part, they would be exactly on weight. So again, for a glove of this caliber, it's not too far off weight, but still 15.6 and 15 ounces, a hair underweight. So hopefully that's something that he could work on, just getting that perfected down. But everything else with this glove is amazing. Great balance, distribution of weight is perfect as well. So just a beautiful looking glove. Comfort wise, sliding your hand into glove. Liner feels great. There is no excess liner. The liner on here also feels very thick, if that makes sense. It's a standard satin, it's a satin liner, but it has a thicker feel and it doesn't feel cheap and kind of chintzy on the inside where you just have like a lot of excess material. It feels very streamlined and really nice and snug and taut and pulled together. So the liner feels really good. Wrist support feels amazing. The wrist support on here actually kind of reminds me a lot of the Mexican made gloves like Bayonetta and some of the others, where they put a big emphasis on the wrist padding, especially on the inner part of the wrist and on the back side of the wrist. So excellent job with that. Thumb placement is perfect as well. This seam right here for the thumb opening allows my thumb, the fat part of my thumb, to breathe and not pinch it off. And the actual position of the thumb is perfect as well. You have about probably an inch to an inch or a quarter of medium density foam padding. It is all one piece. One thing you'll notice, there's no stitching right here that separates the thumb to the back of the glove. So everything here is all one piece. There's no stitching here, but this padding on the back of the thumb feels great as well. Finger compartment, nice and deep. One thing I will critique is that there is a little bit of a, I wouldn't say stitching, but you can feel where he kind of blends the inside leather together and stitches it in. I feel that there should be like a piece of felt padding or some type of neoprene to cover the stitching on the inside. Just something that I would want, like a little extra feature to cover that up, so it's a little bit more comfortable. But nice deep finger compartment. The pocket feels great, not too wide, not too narrow. Thumb feels good. You can see it does a really great job keeping that thumb down and not overextending. And the gloves are really well broken in. Even when they're brand new, you can open and close your palm with ease. So for those of you, again, like myself, that like that old school glove feel where you can just open and close your hand, these are definitely the gloves that you would enjoy. So you can open and close, catch, parry shots. You can see it just has great flexibility. Protection and performance. This is the type of glove, I would say there's a little bit more on the puncher side. He has a proprietary NASA foam that he uses in here that does a really good job at giving you shock absorption without adding too much bulk or thickness. And that's layered inside there with that curled horsehair. So you have that curled horsehair, and when I push down on that, you can see that it's very soft at first. But the more you push into the actual knuckle area, you'll notice that it kind of hardens up and becomes a little bit more dense into the knuckle as you do that. But you get excellent pop and feedback, and you can see, again, I love that style of padding where it gets real nice flat over the knuckles. Using it for the heavy bag, using this for the mitts. Obviously you can use these gloves for sparring as well, but again, just kind of that old school feel. So that's the type of foam that I really enjoy using, and even over time, the more you use it, it'll soften up and even break in even more. So definitely love the way the padding feels, but I would say this is probably a little bit more on the puncher side, a little bit softer when it comes to the style of padding. Cost-wise, these gloves are $549. I know that's a lot to take in terms of cost for a glove. That is expensive, I get it. There's a lot of gloves out there that are kind of in that $200, $200 range that are, obviously more attainable. But you're getting a glove here, to me, that's more of a timepiece. And I've said this again in other videos, when it came to like Donardo's, Winnings, there's some higher end gloves. John Gollum, the glove doctor, John Gollum, his family is the original Everlast, and he makes gloves very similar. 1v1 also. So, you're really paying for a premium product, and I feel like these gloves definitely bring that, in terms of both just the quality. You're getting a glove that's made by one person. You're not getting this, assembly line, mass-produced glove. The quality's there. I mean, the overall craftsmanship is great. The leather quality, the type of padding, it looks great. I would say obviously the weight being a little bit off can be improved. The other big thing is, it's a very classic looking glove, and some people do like more of the flashier, cooler looking design, so all black and gold, although that's kind of a safe colorway to go with. I love it. Some people want something a little bit more flashier, so it would be kind of cool if he somehow was able to kind of come up with a split colorway glove. Now the only caveat to that is there might not be, as far as like the type of leather quality, might not be available when it comes to those other colors. So that's kind of the big drawback when it comes to that. But overall, at that price point, I know it's not for everybody. I still think it's an amazing glove. If you're looking at something like this, you're kind of in that budget range, you've been saving up money, or you're just looking for something that's kind of the end all be all, you want a puncher style glove, that old school Ray Flores type glove, then this is definitely a great choice in my opinion. And you'd be supporting, obviously an American business. And overall, I'm very satisfied with my glove. So if you guys have any questions or comments, you guys know what to do, put them down below. I'll put the link in the description box where you can find these Barric boxing, vintage gold boxing gloves. See you guys later. Peace.